Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast with me, Matt. One for you all here on Gleize breakouts on the new patch of Spearhead 2. Of course, I think the hotfix just dropped, so I have to record this one before the hotfix. So let's go through the players. We have Kenki going as the United States of America, and we have Professor as Luftwaffe, straight out the gate for the Wehrmacht, going for Fallschirmjäger Pioneers. Good to see. So we're going to see more Luftwaffe-oriented troops today. And it also looks like we have a commander choice from Kenki. It looks like it's mechanized. Let's see how that goes for them. And the Gleize Breakout is a winter 1v1 map. We don't see that often, so I'm glad to see it used. It has some nice little areas, like especially this central part of the town can be a lot of very complex fighting. Fallschirmjäger Pioneers pushing out. It's a cheaper unit you can get straight out the gate if you're playing as Luftwaffe. And we are seeing several of them being pulled out. They are very cheap, only costing 200. Apparently I just got a message on my phone. That's very bad timing. That happens. Okay. Apologies. It happens sometimes. Pioneers pushing up towards the graveyard here. Baseline waiting behind his tractor. Now Mattcasting and Riflemen will definitely provide a little bit of an issue for these Fallschirmjäger Pioneers, because they are not actually as good infantry as the basic Grenadiers and Voice Grenadiers. That said, they are cheaper, and they are capable of repairing and laying all defenses, so they're only pretty decent. He's probably more aiming for getting the Fallschirmjäger units that you can get at 2 command points from the Baracken. That's their mainstay infantry. At long range, though, I think they will do okay against the Americans, as we can see. The Kar-98s have already killed a few of them. Pioneers have been killed, though. There's only up to these Luftwaffe troops. And that's a bad position, but it looks like the Americans are ditching out. They don't want to stay there. Probably fearing they could be flanked again, which was going to happen, I think.
The Luftwaffe reports it can now paradrop medical supplies on your command.
The Luftwaffe are securing the center here of the town.
Ready to deploy.
Meanwhile, another squad is securing the southern flank, and more Americans coming onto the fields. And now we are seeing the first Jaegers coming on, which I think require 1 command point on. This is actually a really interesting unit, because they arrive with Gewehr 43s instead of Kar-98s. Make them exceptionally good in urban and medium range encounters. Able to take the fight to the Americans. Very interesting unit. Max being laid there by the Fallschirmjäger Pioneers. Here's the first unit of Fallschirmjäger Jägers in the field. Made up of volunteers from the Luftwaffe ground personnel. Essentially constitute the main fighting force of the ground forces of the Luftwaffe. When you're going in there, and that's a crossfire now, I think those Fallschirmjäger Pioneers have to get out of there. Jaegers are pushing up this way. The Gewehr 43s will definitely give them a little bit of an edge, I think. There's been armored MP40s, so they're really being equipped for this kind of environment. Good to see. The MP40s will definitely help a lot in these kind of close quarters. Already getting a few shots in towards the Americans there. And there we go. Getting a lot of nice little shots in. Now the Americans had a good angle. More Fallschirmjäger Pioneers. No, that's a null Pioneers in the flank. Yes, I'm pulling back here to get in a better cover. Those 2 members of the squad is in a very weak position. It looks like the Realism are sucking and aiming right now. Looks like the Jaegers are pushing.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Now the problem with the Realism is they don't have the semi-automatic rifles, so as we can see, the Jaegers could just push up there and shoot them to the bits. Vertical coming out here for the United States. About long angry going in, but I think that might be a dead Jaeger. Yeah, Jaegers is down.
We are suffering losses.
Germans are going to shore up their offensive here. Probably get some more Jaegers out, or perhaps even invest in a Fallschirmjäger. No, we're seeing another Jaeger squad coming in. It's good to see that more unique Luftwaffe forces are being utilized. I always appreciate that. And the thing about the Fallschirmjäger Pioneers, they can actually be equipped with a Gewehr 43 with a scope if you vet them up, or the MG15. MG15 is essentially the Luftwaffe's machine gun, usually mounted on top of aircraft.
Pioneers here.
armored car coming out with some mechanized troopers for the United States of America.
Squad, ready to move.
It's the Fallschirmjägers quickly rushing onto the battle. Oh, not Fallschirmjägers. Well, technically they are Fallschirmjägers because they're part of a division, but these are Jägers. It's a very complex little naming thing, so I can understand why it's confusing, especially to me. Using the Grenadier model from Vanilla Company of Heroes 2. Rushing about to the field here, ready to throw grenades in when they spot enemies. Yeah, this is a kind of choke point that's good for the Americans. Semi-auto rifles mowed them down.
An infantry squad has been killed.
Good timing, because now they can move in while the Americans are suppressed. But now the Americans are not suppressed anymore, they got behind heavy cover. Which will mean they'll win that engagement. That grenade might change that. Yep. Very good throw there from the Luftwaffe pioneers. Problem is, there is a armored car nearby. And that's a crossfire. That's not gonna work out for them, I think. Yep. Fallschirmjägers are coming onto the battlefield now. Actual German paratroopers. Really freaking good infantry, by the way. Probably some of the best infantry in the game if they utilized correctly with their MG or FT-42s. Looks like the scout car is just going around. Jägers do have Panzerfaust on them. Oh, but they're laying a Regal mine. Very cheeky, but we'll be able to get it up in time. I don't think they will. They need to get moving quickly. Panzerfaust. But there's two surviving Americans and another half-tag is winning that engagement. There's a mine there, but let's see if you notice that. So far it doesn't look like it. And oh! Yeah, half-tag immobilized and dazed. But it can repair itself, so it's not too bad. Fallschirmjägers on the field now. Very expensive units. Need to be utilized very carefully, especially against American light vehicles. The Luftwaffe has taken some very heavy hits here early. And they're gonna have to take a little bit harder to recover from, I think. But they might still be able to. Don't underestimate Fallschirmjägers. These are really exceptional infantry. When they're going overhead. That's not gonna do much to it. What he needs is a Panzerfaust. Which you can get there, but fighting up against the 50 cal, that's not a good situation to be in.
Squad, shot it. We are receiving new orders. You found something?
Tekka going up for the Luftwaffe here. A Waffenkammer. Ooh, double M20. Ooh. I have not seen double M20 before. This should be interesting. Good to see that it is actually being utilized. It's also a lot cheaper than it used to be. It's a mobile 50 caliber. Pretty damn useful, and the crew actually has a bazooka. They actually have the ability to jump out of that vehicle like in Vanilla Company of Heroes for the Americans. Thompson's equipped here on the rifleman, pushing up on the Fallschirmjäger pioneers. We have a Luftwaffe officer on the field as well, a Stabsfeld people. With the officer rework, he's now a 5-man squad. I'm excited to see how the officer rework will change how people play, in all honesty. But he is an extra squad to have, which is handy. Coming in here with the flamethrower waiting here. Now he does buff the Fallschirmjägers here with the 10 commandments, apparently. Very biblical. Increase their accuracy by 10%. And 10% less likely to be hit. That's actually a really good buff. Makes Fallschirmjägers really damn potent. Here's the M20s. Let me just make sure I'm recording, because this sounds like a very interesting match about to happen. Oh, excuse me, that was not what I meant to do. I'm meant to... There we go. My bad. I clicked on the button for none of the server view. That was not what I intended to do. Much better.
Boys, you ready?
See them moving up. But the M20 could be a problem simply because it's a mobile 50 caliber. A 50 caliber will tear through those elite troops like butter. Like any machine gun would, but a 50 caliber is a pretty damn big machine gun. One of the big advantages of playing the United States is you get 50 caliber machine guns on most things. Well, most mounted things, that is. FT-42 is being equipped on the Feuertruppe. And we have some more Fallschirmjäger Pioneers called in. They are fairly cheap, so they do provide some kind of numbers. Back 4, you were moving up here. A good choice. Americans have more of the battlefield and they have both munitions point, which is a very big deal. The Wehrmacht is going to suffer in the munitions department.
Objective secure. Ready. Squad, ready to move. I await your orders, Commandant.
Professor getting up here quick. Oh, and yeah, that's a lot of firepower coming in those Fallschirmjägers. Probably not an engagement they want to partake in for too long. They've had to be suppressed. Oh yeah, not good position there, they have to get out of there. But now there's the M20 on the flank. Oh yeah, both Fallschirmjäger units just died. That was a horrible, horrible little incident there for the Luftwaffe forces. Fallschirmjäger Pioneers are quickly trying to rush up, but they have no AT weapons. They only have the small Panzerwurfmine, which they have to actually throw. And the M20s are definitely getting up their kills here. Just facing through the terrain, as you do, apparently. And the M20s have just mowed down the German forces.
Headquarters attacked.
Panzer F1 coming onto the field. Now the M20 is being suppressed here, so it cannot fire. Thanks to the machine gun up the base. The small German bunkers here. Now they could actually jump out and use the bazookas, but I'm not sure they're gonna do that. Yeah, that seems like it might have been a bad move. But he's just staying in the base anyway. What a brave M20 crew. There you go, they evacuated. But that's gonna just get them to die, so they jump back in. Second M20 on the field to replace it, apparently. Panzer F1 almost on the field here. Now the Americans are lacking in AT equipment, but they are getting dual steward, which might be enough to deal with an F1. I'm not sure. We need to see how this F1 performs. Or Fallschirmjägers come out this time, it's an assault Gruppe. Angriffsgruppe. So an assault team, basically. But the Germans have lost a lot of terrain. F1 pushing up here. Jumping out quick. They do have a bazooka they can use. And they used it. That's one of the advantages of the M20. They can jump out of the vehicle and use a bazooka. That's gonna make this Panzer IV vulnerable. Not a good situation here for the Germans at all. Professor has taken some very heavy losses. Need to pull that thing back to repairs. The F1 can still be recovered if they act quickly.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
But it's just staying there. I'm not sure what Professor is doing. Perhaps Professor has realized that he cannot win this one. Look how good the Kampfgriffsgruppe are though. They're mowing down the mechanized troops easy. There we go, that's a dead mechanized troop. Now M20 is rushing up here. But Stuart got the kill. Hey, nice to see the M20 is being utilized. It's not something people generally expect to face. Oh, they just killed the wounded guy, oh god. Yeah, I'm not sure Professor can do much in this situation. The Americans are about to encroach at these Fallschirmjägers.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Ooh. Now more Stuarts are coming in.
The sector has been cut off.
Yeah, I think this is too much here for the Germans to handle, but they're not surrendered yet.
Firing on our HQ.
They don't have the munitions for any anti-tank weapons either.
Our industry grows to support us.
Kansas has just been loaded on the Stuarts. At least on one of them. They just need to take these bunkers, then the Americans can just drive in. Ostwind coming out though. That might be able to do something against these light vehicles, but I'm not sure Ostwind is a good choice against a Stuart. Definitely a little bit of a different match. And they need to take out the bunkers. There go one bunker down. They need to take out one more bunker. Luftwaffe Lieutenant has been called in. Not sure how much help he'll be. HQ is about to go down fully. And the Americans is driving into the German base now. Will the Ostwind do make a change? Because here it is, the Flakpanzer Ostwind. With a 3.7mm ET autocannon. Well, one shot was all took there. And he killed the crew. But the problem is... Oh, it actually hits the Stuarts! If it penetrates, it probably will be able to kill the Stuarts. Okay. Yeah, that's one Stuart down. No penetration happened. There we go. One penetration. And it's just not doing enough damage when it penetrates. Oh, and that's an incendiary grenade. Now, if the Germans could just repair their structures, they only have one structure left with barely any health. Oh my god. If that thing dies, they're gone. This is awkward. Very awkward. Triple M20 coming out. The Germans need to get that structure repaired or they just die. Let's see, the Flak Panzer is just driving ahead. It probably has nothing else that it can do in all honesty. Looking for the Americans, but looks like the Americans have just fought back from the Ostwind for now. Is the Ostwind gonna go for the American base? I suppose that's a thing it can do. Yeah, it's going for the American base. Okay. They need to act quickly. They do have a bazooka and this combat engineer. M20 will not last long though against the Ostwinds. Nor will its crew.
Light vehicle just got destroyed.
Well, this battle turned out a little bit different than I thought. The Germans are not calling in pioneers. You do get an ability to call in pioneers if your HQ is destroyed. Oh, there they are.
Pioneers awaiting orders.
Now they just need to get to work on repairing quickly. There's one more shot onto that building and it's gone. Oh, he's scavenging, good to see. And then he's going to start repairing the HQ, but I would probably get one squad repairing that structure. 80 gun, the pack. And that's the Ostwind gone. That's exactly what they did not need. And I think with that problem, I think Professor is still in a big and bad position. They're not going to be able to make a comeback from this, I think. They have tried to admiral with that Ostwind. That Ostwind did a surprising amount. Another M20 coming on the field here. And that's a dead Fallschirmjäger.
We have casualties.
Not looking good for Professor at all. I think we can speed this up. I gotta say, Professor is determined though to keep trying.
Our HQ is under
But a little more shots there if they can penetrate it.
We have lost the squad.
And this is so awkward. There we go, the Americans coming into the base now with the Stuarts. Just need to destroy that last building, and it's gone. And there we go, Professor surrendered at that point. What an awkward little match. I hope you at least all enjoyed the M20 play. I'll see you on the next one, everyone. Bye bye.